Hello all, Jai Shivraj. COVID's first and second wave, both waves have taught us a lot. Or to be specific about second wave, one can say we were a bit unprepared or underprepared during the second wave. And in a way, we were caught napping. And because of being underprepared for second wave, we had to incur huge losses, be it mortality or in some cases as morbidity post COVID. So while dealing with the third wave, we should be prepared for dealing third wave right from the beginning, and we should not be caught napping again and incur all the losses which we have incurred in recent past during the second wave. While dealing with third wave, we had to learn from the mistakes or unpreparedness of the second wave. And the biggest mistake was the lack of tertiary care system, especially in rural areas. Because during first wave, it was only quarantine was helping. There were less number of severe cases, but during second wave, the tertiary care need was huge. There was a lot of need of tertiary care hospitals, and afterwards it led to acute shortage of some medicines, acute shortage of oxygen. People had to run from pillar to post for the oxygen, for remdesivir, and there are some complications also. So let's deal with this judicious use of medicine. If we take case of remdesivir, task force had recommended use of remdesivir in particular cases. Now the remdesivir is not in the first line of drugs, but some other drug will definitely there be in first line. But if we don't use these drugs judiciously, and if there is indiscriminate use of medicine, what happens is what we have witnessed in case of remdesivir shortage, then tocilizumab shortage, and eventually in case of oxygen. COVID's best treatment is oxygen, but judicious use of oxygen. Experts have commented, experts have opined that oxygen saturation of 94 to 95% is sufficient for a COVID positive patient. But it was seen in many cases that in some clinics or some COVID centers or some doctors were trying to push that saturation to 97, 98%, and it eventually led to acute shortage of oxygen. Also, does every patient need oxygen support? The answer is definitely no, which you all know it. But if there is judicious use of oxygen, and if we can use other measures like CAR protocol, like prone positioning has shown to be effective in case of COVID management, be it prone position or its positional change. So this CAR protocol definitely helps. Ask the patient to lie down in prone position, then on left lateral position, then on right lateral position, then 70 degrees sitting position, and this definitely mitigates the need of 1 to 2 liter oxygen per minute, and this definitely helps to lessen the oxygen requirement in COVID patients. So this CAR protocol has to be properly learned, properly practiced by all the people who are treating COVID patients. Second important thing is there were other remedies. Many universities popped up. We always call it as WhatsApp universities, but we should educate people. We should tell our patients also not to rely entirely on these alternative remedies. Yes, there are some remedies in Ayurveda, there are some remedies in homeopathy also claim some remedies, but these can be used as adjuvant therapies, not as mainstream of therapy. And an observation is seen in many cases that in those COVID centers where task force protocols were not strictly followed, the mortality rate was definitely seen high. That's why when there are experts, there is an expert team which is going to guide you. So there should be a proper training of task force guideline measurements for all COVID patients. As one survey has been conducted recently which assumes or which predicts that there will be 1.8 times more cases than second wave in third wave. And another observation or another speculation is the third wave might affect younger population more than the elderly population. As we all know that in elderly population, the vaccination rate has been better, definitely better than the younger population. And pediatric age group is not protected from COVID by vaccination. There are some trials going on in pediatric age group, but the trials will take some time for the results to be shown, and that's why at present vaccination is not an option for the younger population to get protected. So what is the option for this younger population to get protected? And that is COVID appropriate behavior, be it social distancing, be it use of mask, be it proper use of mask. And one positive side to this measure is that the younger population is in the age, especially the pediatric and the teen age, is in an age where they can adopt this practice very fast. So there has to be a proper public education. There needs to be a lot of public awareness about the COVID appropriate behavior, and this COVID appropriate behavior along with immunity booster practices, be it Ayurveda, be it homeopathy, but these things will definitely help these young people or the pediatric age group from COVID. Second thing is, in COVID there are two types of immunity seen. One is T cell immunity, B cell immunity, and especially in pediatric population, so far the results have shown that the T cell immunity has been higher in younger population, and the immune response is much better in pediatric population. So we should assure people not to be panic for the third wave. It is very obvious that if the a child is going to get infected, the parents are going to be panic, and that's why this panic has to be taken care of by proper education. And secondly, the proper infrastructure. The need of proper infrastructure is that when in first wave or in second wave, what we what we observed was patient could be shifted to the tertiary care center from rural area to urban area. But during third wave, if the pediatric population is expected to be affected more, then the tertiary care centers should be in the vicinity of the rural area, because in this case the movement will not be only of the patient, but it will be a movement of the patient along with the parent. At the same time, the parent needs to be vaccinated, or parent should be aware, parent should be trained to take proper care of the patient also, and about proper COVID appropriate behavior also. So the third wave might put pressure on two fronts. One is we have to treat unprotected population, but positive side of it is this population which is going to be infected, or which is expected or which is speculated to be infected, has a better immune response than the elderly population. But the second challenge is about the infrastructure in rural area of tertiary healthcare center. And third very important thing is, while erecting or establishing infrastructure for COVID management, only for COVID management, as a far-sighted measure, if we can think of establishing this medical infrastructure which can be permanent, not temporary. So the investment or the money we are putting in for COVID management can later be used for other medical illnesses also, so that this entire infrastructure remains for some more time, for other illnesses also it can be used. So these are, in a nutshell, these are some suggestions for COVID management. But last but not the least, most important thing is the ethical practice during the pandemic, because there are many cases have been reported about exorbitant medical bills, and the equipments and drug costs have been higher. My sincere request is, during this pandemic, the world is in danger, country is in danger, and here, at least during this time, one should do a proper ethical practice. There are many examples who have done exceedingly well ethically also. So we should do this ethical practice and be aware of all the treatment we are giving, because what I mentioned during my earlier is indiscriminate use of medicines. If we see the indiscriminate use of steroids, it was life-saving during that time, but the indiscriminate use has resulted in many cases of mucormycosis, and this mucormycosis has resulted in many comorbidities. Also, this exorbitant use of steroids has resulted in a vascular necrosis of femur in many cases. Because I know at least 10 cases in my close circle who have developed a vascular necrosis femur, which leads to eventually hip replacement, and there is no other remedy for that. So this use of medicine during COVID's management has to be cautious, has to be judicious. If you have established a COVID center, these COVID centers should be properly run. The qualification of the treating doctor should be at least as per the standards of state guidelines. And if there is definitely, there can be an argument that there are no well equipped doctors, or there are no all qualified doctors cannot be available in rural area, which is also very true. But whoever is going to treat COVID should get a proper COVID training management or COVID management training course, so that he can effectively manage COVID patients. And if we unitedly fight this pandemic ethically, spiritually, and with wholehearted effort, definitely third wave can be tackled, is what I believe. Thank you.